David Tennant and Stanley Tucci brought together by Doctor Who and Sherlock Steven Moffat. How can this be anything but a hit? We're talking Inside Man.
There are moments that make murderers of us all.
Bye-bye. Have a good day. Hello.
Bye.
No one is safe from the worst that they can do.
Hello and welcome to Screen OD, a channel for people who love TV, movies and streaming. My name is Tim. I'm an editor and a journalist who's been writing and talking about the entertainment industry for more than 15 years. And we've got a real treat for you today because Inside Man is a show that you are going to want to watch. Not only does it have a fantastic cast with David Tennant, who of course many of you will know as the 10th Doctor, but he's been doing some brilliant work on TV in the last few years in things like Staged, Good Omens, Des, Around the World in 80 Days, and many others besides. You've also got Stanley Tucci, you've got Dolly, who many of you may remember from her performance in Dracula not that long ago, and of course you've got Lydia as well. That's four great actors in a great show that's been put together by none other than Sherlock and Dracula and Doctor Who's Steven Moffat. So what is this all about then?
Cracks can open in the most ordinary life and swallow anyone at all. All it takes is a good reason and a bad day.
Well, I slightly had my thunder stolen there by Stanley Tucci, who I may admit probably delivered it a little bit better than I would. But essentially, summarising this show, we're talking about what drives people to do things that you just wouldn't expect that they would do. And as he said so eloquently, and I will now say much less eloquently, all it takes is a good reason and a bad day. Now, it's surprising perhaps that a show that's got such big names in it and also has such a big name kind of creator behind it in Steven Moffat, that more isn't known about this show before the broadcast. In fact, the trailer is incredibly kind of secretive about what it tells you, and all the press materials around the show don't really tell you very much. Once you start watching the show, you'll realise why, because this is a mystery and a thriller, and there are lots of different threads that start to come together in quite unexpected ways quite quickly. And I think if you knew too much about it, that might spoil your enjoyment of this really excellent four-part show.
Everyone is a murderer. You just have to meet the right person.
I think therefore it's imperative that we don't talk too much about what happens in the show whilst telling you you should watch the show. Now, at the heart of it is Jefferson Grief, a brilliantly named character portrayed by Stanley Tucci. This is a professor of criminology who is also a convicted killer and is on death row. Now, how is his story going to intertwine with that of the others? Well, that isn't completely clear to start with. On the other side of the pond, we have Harry Watling. He's a man of God, played by David Tennant. This is a vicar who is seemingly a pillar of society. However, when a misunderstanding starts to spiral out of control, we start to go back to that central tenet of the show, which is what is it that would take someone like him to break and to take increasingly desperate measures to save perhaps their reputation, their career and everything? Well, we're about to find out. In between these two storylines, we have the character of Beth Davenport, who's played by Lydia. She is a journalist who's gone out to America to interview Jefferson Grief to find out more about something quite unusual that he is doing whilst he's in prison on death row. And then there's Dolly character, Janice Fife, a maths teacher who's trapped in a cellar. And how does that connect with what's happening in America and what's happening in the church in the UK? And herein lies the beauty of the show. This is Steven Moffat at his very best. And those of you who enjoy his work in Sherlock or in Dracula, or some of the best episodes that he wrote of Doctor Who, that kind of mysterious, edgy, dark element to this show is there all the way through. It's got a kind of twist and turn feel to it. It's got the unexpected that comes and goes. And just when you start to think you understand where you are, something changes. This is a four-part series that is very, very gripping. It's got some fantastic performances from all four of the lead actors. From the kind of almost Silence of the Lambs feel to the conversations between Stanley Tucci's Jefferson Grief and Lydia West's Beth Davenport, all the way through to David Tennant just kind of being exceptional as always. If you've seen not that long ago Deadwater Fell, a kind of there's a similar feel to some of his performance in this show to the way he was in that one, kind of turning from one thing to another, and he does that so well. He's so good at playing that kind of light and darkness, very quickly moving between them. And you've got a fantastic individual performance at times from Dolly Wells as well. There's also quite a lot of other good actors kind of in the background in the show in smaller parts, but the four leads have been so well cast and so well put together, it really does make this script sing. And so if you're looking for a dark show, a thrilling show, and a gripping show that will have you on the edge of your seat and will keep you guessing, well, you don't have to look much further than Inside Man. If you're in the UK, it's available to watch on the BBC and on BBC iPlayer if you're catching up. Now, if you're anywhere else in the world, you might have to wait a little bit longer, although I am told that it's coming very soon to Netflix. So if you're watching in the US, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, should be available on Netflix to watch very, very soon. So it's one to certainly keep your eye out for if you like drama. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, why not hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Screen OD for all the best content direct to your feed. We'll see ya.